So good evening everyone, myself Dr. Yamini Ramesh and I welcome you in this special session of Tea Break Diaries. And we have started this season 2 this year. We started with Dr. 𝐬𝐬𝐻𝐻𝐻 and it was a beautiful session, and thanks to all of you who have joined and who have sent beautiful questions for sir, and it was a very nice talk. But today I'm really excited to have Dr. Bhawisha Joshi with us. Ma'am is here only, and it's a wonderful time, yeah, because ma'am has accepted this invite, and I'm really looking forward to hear a lot of stories from her journey and a lot of other things. So I'm so happy to have all of you here, and especially ma'am. So let's take her first and then we will talk. So just give me a minute, I will add her. Right, can you please accept it? Ma'am, good evening.
Hello, good evening. Yamini, can you hear me well?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you. Can you hear me properly?
I can. If there's any disturbance or anything, then just let me know.
Yeah. So we'll ask our audience only. Guys, please tell us that is there any problem in the audio or something like that? Please let us know. Are you guys able to hear both of us properly without any disturbance, without any echo? If there is any echo, please tell me.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay. Ma'am, we are very excited to have you. Thank you so very much for accepting this invite. I'm really excited.
So am I. This is a very nice kind of a thing, which I really like the idea, and I have done these kind of talks before. Yeah, more on my Facebook channel, or it's on it's on Facebook and my YouTube channel, So I was thinking of doing this, Sachindra and me, one where we just talk to young budding homeopaths, not so much about information and, materia medica, but more about the skills and the values you need to succeed, not just in homeopathy, but in life. And when I saw this request from you, I said, this is something my heart really goes for this. And
so that's so nice, ma'am. Even ma'am, I'll tell you,
job.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We have done one whole series last year when lockdown started, because there were so many things happening, the webinars and all those things. So we thought that we should start some series where we can talk to a human behind a homeopath, and not only a homeopath, because it's all about homeopathy talks most of the times, and people really want to know about their masters, how they live their life, and that is so inspirational for young people. So, and this time we have started recently. We did one session in season 2 with Dr. 𝐬𝐻𝐻𝐻, just two weeks back maybe, and now we are doing it with you, and I'm so happy that you accepted this invite, because there is so much to learn from you. I have learned from you a lot, from your monthly tonics, from your webinars, from the classes in Other Song. Actually, first time I met you in the Other Song, if you remember. I was doing CCH and FCH.
Yeah,
and
now
both of you
were. Yes, I recollect. Yes,
ma'am. So thank you so much, ma'am. And a lot of people are joining. So in short, I will give, though ma'am doesn't need any introduction, but still this is my job, so I'll do it. So Dr. Bhawisha Joshi, she's a passionate homeopath. She's an author. She's a teacher. She's a wonderful cook. She sends the recipes also. Many of you might have seen her very healthy recipes on the internet. She sends it to homeopaths in the groups, as well as to the patients of her. She had global clinics in Mumbai, in New York, in London, and she's treating patients globally for more than 2 decades now. She's an author of 8 must-have books. These are beautiful books. I have read all of them except the bird book, which has recently come up. So she has, and Yes, yes. And so these 8 books are translated into many other languages, in German, in Japanese, in Russian, in Italian, and it is available globally in all the countries. Also, she has written a book for layman called Inner Animal Human Connection, and it's a must book. It's a beautiful book for general public to understand how homeopathy works and how we take cases, and that's a very nice book. She has also co-authored a book on yoga with her father. She's extremely spiritual, holistic person, a doting mother, passionate and creative cook. Like I said, that she sent healthy recipes, and I have tried few of them. They are very good. So, ma'am, thank you for that. And she is known for her original and innovative thinking and the path-breaking concepts of the map system of Joshis, which she teach along with Dr. Sachindra sir, her husband. And she goes to many of the countries to teach, and she also conducts offline and online classes. These days, mostly online, but you can also like meet her. I have attended few of her seminars, which she conducts in Mumbai and other places as well. So, despite such a prolific and hectic life, she balances her work and her family and everything she does. So, this would be a very interesting talk, I'm sure, ma'am. So, let's start. I warmly welcome you for this talk and thank you again. And my first question to you, ma'am, is that tell us about your journey into homeopathy, how you became or turned into homeopathy.
Okay, so as I told you, Yamini, yeah, today is going to be nothing about homeopathy, but really the woman behind the homeopath. Yeah,
Definitely.
the daughter, the student, the mother, the woman, yeah, the wife. And I think, when people understand more about the person, yeah, it's more soulful. Yeah, if I just give knowledge, which I have been giving in all seminars, I mean, knowledge is better than information, right? But when people will know about each one of us or our journeys and what we have gone through, you add a little wisdom to their learning.
Yes,
It's not
definitely.
just right. So information with skills becomes knowledge, and knowledge with the experience of the person who's teaching you becomes wisdom. So first of all, I would really like to say that you're doing a wonderful job with this kind of a series. And
Thank you.
my journey into homeopathy is really something which started on a negative note. Yeah.
Okay.
And therefore, it would be nice to talk about it. It's something which nobody knows. Very few people, just my family. Yeah, my husband knows this. And I think it's so important because it started, where it started and now where it has reached. Yeah. So, it's almost at my student level. I'm hearing a lot of disturbance, Yamini. Are you? Or it's just at my end?
No, ma'am.
Everything is
No,
good.
your voice is clear. Yeah, yeah.
My voice is clear. So, I was from that batch. In India, you have to give your 12th grade, and nowadays children give NEET, right? At
Yes.
our times, it wasn't centralized, and every state had their own examinations. Yeah. So in the state of Maharashtra, we had the HSC examination, and you needed a 95, anywhere between 90 to 95. Yeah, at that time to get into a good medical college. More, I would say 95, 93, something like this. And then if you had around 90, then you would get into the medical colleges around the city of Mumbai. But they were still good medical colleges. Now, the interesting way of how I came into homeopathy was obviously at the age of 16, you know nothing about homeopathy. Yeah, that was when I gave my 12th grade examination. And that very year, they made it all centralized. So after we gave our examination, the results were going to be centralized. And actually, yeah, so no, not the results, the choosing was going to be centralized within the state of Maharashtra. And it was a very big chaos. It was a very big chaos at that time. And unfortunately, I didn't have that 93 to 95. I had a 90, you know. Okay. So I would have definitely gotten into the MBBS colleges around Mumbai. Yeah, but not in Mumbai. Now, because they made this whole thing centralized, and I really wanted to be a neurosurgeon. Yeah. So I was interested in the brain and neurology and things like that. Now, because I had a 90, I did get into, there was a new college that came up today. It's very famous, the D.Y. Patil College, which is in Nehru, in Mumbai. Yes. At that time, it was its first year and it was very private and not very well known. So I got into that one. And then they made a decision that if you choose a college of Mumbai, you will not get any other college of your choice out of Mumbai.
Okay.
So I took the decision to not take D.Y. Patil and wait until I get one of the well-known colleges out of Mumbai. And guess what happened? In 15 days, they made another decision, which was terrible. The decision was, all those students who have opted out will now not be selected at all. And the ones who have already chosen the medical colleges will get an upgrade.
Oh.
It was a complete chaos that year. That was the first year that Maharashtra decided to have this kind of some centralized admissions. So I still remember sitting there in JJ Hospital with my father, thinking, you know, what a twist of destiny, huh? Yes. I gave up. Yeah, I gave up the MBBS at D.Y. Patil. I gave up dental, everything, because I thought I had a better choice in another medical college. And now I totally cannot choose at all. Yeah. And that is how then I decided. At that time, homeopathy was also not centralized. It was not part of anything. And you could apply to this college and you could get a admission. And that is how I actually came into homeopathy. Yeah.
Oh.
And the reason I'm telling you this is, a lot of people or a lot of young budding homeopaths or even allopaths or, you know, young budding students often get very discouraged with what happens.
Yeah, really.
And sometimes it is not in our hands, you know. It's not in our fate sometimes. Now, why I'm telling you this is, I did not take this negatively. So at 16, I came into the homeopathic college. Yeah, of course, I chose it only because, you know, I lost it at the other colleges, and I lost it more, I feel, because of destiny. Yeah.
Yes, very true.
But when I came in homeopathy, I always had a vision. And I think your vision has to be more than your immediate goals and plans. So my vision was always that I have to be able to transform lives. Now, whether you do that with neurosurgery at the exam, you know, at the surgery table, or you do that way before and you change the person so that he never ends up at that surgery table.
Yes, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So that's when I said, okay, this is what has happened with me, but I will not let fate or anything come in the way. So this is how I started.
That's beautiful, ma'am. And very rightly you said that most of the people take it so negatively, and most of the people actually, I mean, it is a fact that they don't choose homeopathy. It's like, you know, these days they say homeopathy chose me. So that's true. But still, you know, initially it's very harsh to accept and hard to, you know, believe that, oh, abhi homeopathy karna padega. And it's a kind of a negative thing actually. And it can take over your entire career. But later, of course, once you graduate and once things make some meaning, because initially, you don't understand anything, the organ on the materia medica part, so it feels more negative. But later, of course, I guess most of the people are happy with, why they came into homeopathy.
Yeah, in
Very
fact,
few
Yamini,
choose it.
very few choose. In fact, Yamini, I should tell you this. My family was very happy that I chose homeopathy. So the way my family looked at it was that it's very easy. She'll have a simple life as a doctor. She'll get a good husband. She will have no emergencies.
Yes.
Yeah, and it will be a very easy journey for her. Now, little did they know that today I have several emergencies. I don't have an easy life.
True.
And it's far more hectic than a neurosurgeon. But I love my life the way it is.
But it has different sort of emergencies than what is like known to general people. And they think that it is an easier job, but it's actually not. Because I guess I also feel like homeopathy takes a lot of our energy and time to actually reach to the minimum and transform that life.
Absolutely.
More than any other profession. So that's wonderful, ma'am.
And also when
how
we
are your
take
journey?
acutes in homeopathy, see, when you're looking at acutes, because we treat malaria, we've been treating so many COVID cases over the last 1.5 years. You must have seen our COVID webinars, yeah? Yes. We treat patients across, I've treated some COVID patients, several, Sachendra and I, from Romania, from England, from the US, people in the hospitals there, So we have been in situations that have been very demanding and situations that demand immediate action. So homeopathy does have that, which I do want the young budding homeopaths to listen, that if you have the faith, then homeopathy works even in very fast and critical situations.
Right, very right. So ma'am, how was your journey in the college? How was it for you? And what was your vision basically when you started this medical career? Because like you said, vision is more important, and I have seen most of us, I mean, when we are young and when we are in either in early 20s or even before that, when we are in college, we don't think about any vision as such. We only have immediate goals. Ye karna hai, I should open the clinic, I should do that. That's all. And we don't think long term. So tell us about that a little bit.
I think, that bit is the most exciting one, Yamini. And there are about 3 to 4 points that I've always kept in mind about myself. I haven't thought about it like that. But in retrospect, when a lot of people ask me and Sachendra that how have you been successful? What is the key? So what I did one day is I went retrospectively and saw what is it that we really did right to reach here. Yeah, and so there are 4 to 5 parameters which I will talk to you about. But the first and the most important one is a vision. Okay, and your vision will change as you grow. I instead of change, I think I should use the word your vision evolves as you grow.
Evolves, yes.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine, but it's very, very important to have that vision. For example, I can tell you that at 16, though I didn't know what homeopathy had in store for me, I definitely knew that whatever it is that I'm going to do in this college, I'm going to learn to do it in an extraordinary way. I'm going to learn and then use these skills to have a much larger impact. Yeah. Now, this larger impact could be in the form of money for someone. It could be in the form of finances and security for someone. It could be in the form of fame for someone. That doesn't matter. Okay. So, I also had a vision that I always wanted to travel the world. And how I would do it, I had no clue. See, remember one thing, very important, Yamini, and that is what I've figured, is that the vision should not be mixed with the how. The vision is the what. The vision is the what you want out of life, what you want out of yourself. How it is going to happen will come. Now, this is where I see a lot of problem with the younger, not younger, but with a lot of people, is that they waste their time thinking about how.
Yeah, very true. Very
so
nice.
You come into the college and then you say, how am I going to pass out the first year? How am I ever going to have the money? My dad is in such a simple working situation. How am I going to have the money to start a clinic? You know, how am I going to be able to afford the next year fee or whatever? Okay, so we waste our time in these little how details. Now remember one thing, what is more important than the how? So what is your goal? If your goal is, I am going to do well, I am going to be able to make the best out of this year in college, I am going to excel out when I go out, I am going to be the best homeopath of my suburb or whatever. Yeah, these are the whats. And I can tell you, one of my success, one of the reasons for my success is I have never focused on the how. I have been I would say I have been so caught up in the what, which is a good thing. The how comes. The how comes. You will not believe this, Yamini. I can tell you exactly how I started my first internship. I wanted to work. Most of you may know Dr. Nandita Shah. Okay. So you have all seen me at the TOS. Yeah. Way before TOS was just a group of doctors. Yeah. Rajan Shankaran, Jayesh Shah, Sunil Anand, Nandita Shah, and Sujit Chatterjee. 5 of them. Yeah, I'm talking of the 1999-2000. This is way before TOS. TOS was more when we all were teaching as well. But so I'm talking of that time when I wanted, how is not important. I wanted to work with Nandita Shah. Now, today's day, Yamini, is very different. These are our younger generation homeopaths, all of us, we have social media, we have Facebook, we have mobile phones. We can connect to homeopaths very easily. I'm talking of a time when there were no mobile phones. I'm talking of a time when there used to be a line of assistants before you ever got to become an assistant to someone. And there was so much of manipulation and politics that you never got it.
Yes.
And you know what happened? You will not believe this. I was in a seminar, okay, I think it was one of Jan Scholten when he came as a teacher. Today I teach with Jan Scholten, but there was a time I listened to him as a little student. So I was in one of these seminars and I was standing in the ladies' washroom in, what is this, the Bombay Hospital auditorium, okay? I was standing there. I forget the name of the auditorium. That's also where Sachendra and I did the 𝐬𝐽𝐬𝐬𝐻 seminar. But anyway, it's a 1,200 people auditorium.
The Birla Matushri?
The Birla Matushri. Yeah, I was forgetting the name. Sorry. So Birla Matushri, I was standing there as this student. Yeah. And guess who comes? And it's the washroom. And all these teachers and seminar presenters have a different washroom. I know that because I have been a seminar presenter at Birla Matushri. But at that time, for some reason, Nandita Shah couldn't find the way to the speaker's washroom. Then she landed in the common ladies' washroom. I caught her. I said, ma'am, I want to study with you. I want to be your assistant. Can you believe this? Guess what she said? She said, I haven't seen someone so energetic and enthusiastic. And my assistant, I already have an assistant who I have just taken. And she will be with me for a year. and you can join me after a year. I said, ma'am, anything is fine. I'll keep calling you up. Please give me your phone number. Nobody is giving it to me. I took her phone number and I literally called her every day. Of course, her receptionist was picking it up. You won't believe it what happened within a month. She told me, you know what? My assistant got pregnant unexpectedly and now she's on bed rest. And you have been so persistent. I think you are the one for this post.
Wow. That's great.
Nobody knows these things about me, or, you know, these things never come out. But I can give you so many instances like this where the how has happened on its own. Because the what in me, what I want, has been very, very strong.
That's great. That's great, ma'am. And you're right, absolutely correct. That because so many times we are not clear with our what and we are behind how, actually, that how it is going to happen, how we'll make it possible. And there are some students who are saying that, ma'am, till that how comes in our mind, so what to do. So please guide them that how to, you know, because we always have this self-doubt that whether it would be possible or not, or if I invest that much, or if I invest that much of time and energy, because it's not always money, sometimes energy, sometimes time also. And you know, it keeps haunting you that how it will happen, how it will be possible. So how to go about this? What is your idea?
I'll tell you what, that how comes in my mind as well. Okay. In fact, my son at the moment is preparing for a very tough entrance exam for the JEE Advanced. Yeah, this is the IIT entrance exam. And the how keeps coming in his mind. So I have to work with him also to keep the what more in focus. I'll tell you what. See, first of all, very often the how comes, or the self-doubt comes, because we haven't clearly written out our goal. The goal can evolve, as I said, Yamini. The goal can evolve. But at least you should have a goal. Let's say you have a goal that I want a clinic, a big clinic or a good setup in the suburb where I'm practicing. Let's say somebody has a goal that I want to work in a hospital. Or let's say somebody has a goal, I want to, you know, have a polyclinic with many different homeopaths, whatever. I'm just giving you an example. So, first and foremost, whether you're in first year of college, whether you're in the internship, whether you've started your practice, whether you are a 20-year-old practitioner like me, doesn't matter. Sit down and spend some time on the goal, or on what is it that you want out of your life. And this I do very often, Yamini. You know, there is that me time. Yeah.
Yes.
So from my very childhood, I have always had times when I'm either going for a walk. Today, I get up very early in the morning before the rest of the household gets up. I have that morning 5 to 6 a.m. just for myself. And that is the time when the what plays in my mind. See, you have to give time for that. Very often, we do not give time to put down our goals. Talk to yourself. Yeah, put down your goals. Once you have put down your goals, when you're putting down your goals, don't think about the how. Just put it down. They can be as crazy as you want it to be. Yeah, like my goal of meeting Nandita Shah needed two people, needed me, but it needed Nandita Shah. And the universe gave her to me in the public, in the ladies' washroom, you know. So my goal was very clear. So similarly, you have to take some time out, write down your goal. You can change it, you can evolve it, but spend some time with your goal. When you spend time with your goal, I'm telling you, do it at least for a month. All you homeopaths out there, automatically your doubts, your hows start to get clear. You start to see pathways opening up. You start to see avenues. And another thing, when you are writing your goal, do not let that thought of how come in. If it comes in, say, okay, I've observed it, let it pass. Observe it. When you put it down your goal, do not let that thought of how come in. If it comes in, say, okay, I've observed it, let it pass. Observe it. When you write your goal, do not let that thought of how come in. If it comes in, say, okay, I've observed it, let it pass. Observe it. it comes. Observe it, let it pass. But keep writing your goal. Second thing, spend 5 to 10 minutes every day thinking about what you want. I do this even today. See, Sachendra and I, very often, we take a break. I have done 5 seminars, I have done 6 seminars, I've finished writing a book. The first thing I tell Sachendra is, I need a break. And then I go somewhere alone, 2 days, and I clear my mind and look at what is it that I want next. Okay? So every morning I'm doing this with myself, and every few months I'm doing this with myself. So when you do this, when you clearly delineate your goals, the doubts will reduce. And in the beginning, if the doubts come, observe them, let them pass. Observe them, let them pass. And second thing, now, the second thing, yes, it is like the law of attraction. It is totally like the law of attraction, and I was doing it for 20 years without knowing these definitions, without knowing. See, a lot of us are doing so much without knowing what they are doing.
Yes.
I mean, without having a name, let me put it like that, without having a name. And today I can see all my success is because of all this subconscious thinking I have had. Yeah.
Yes.
I wanted to say one more thing. You must, I know that the doubts come in, but you have to tell yourself, I have faith and belief. And then you have to also work on it. So that next,
It's reconnected.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
I was just coming to hard work and persistence, and this connection.
That is it.
Exactly.
It's the universe is showing you have to show it, not only talk.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
So then the thing is hard work and persistence. Now, you know what do I mean by hard work and persistence? You don't see anything happening. Okay? You don't see. When you are just in college, when you're just a beginner, and I have also gone through the same thing. Yeah, we started with almost no money. We had no medical background, my husband and I, in terms of, you know, we didn't have any doctor parents or any clinic ready for us, nothing. Okay. If I tell you about our honeymoon, then the way we spent it and what we did, this is also a very funny story and a very, very interesting story. Okay. So from nothing to have so much, the point is when you have nothing also, you have to have that faith and belief. Now, what we used to do as young homeopaths, you know, I remember that I was very good with writing. Okay. So I had a flair for writing, and even as a young student, you know, at school, I used to write poems, I used to write articles. Yeah. So what I would do is I would go to the college library, I would read journals. When I just finished internship, I would approach all my teachers. Yeah. And I would tell them, ma'am, sir, do you need an article to be written? I don't want my name even, but can I write it for you? Because I wanted the experience, you see.
Wow.
I wanted that experience. I remember in the very beginning, when we did not have, you know, institutes and organizations, homeopaths would come together and do seminars, either at Birla Matashri or this or that, whatever. And I remember that in those very early days, we were not making any money. Okay, because then you are just a new homeopath, nobody is coming to you, and you don't have any medical backing or whatever. So we had very little practice or almost none. Luckily, we had parents. I had great support from my in-laws, Sachendra's parents. We married off very early. I was just 22, 23, you know, right out of internship. Yeah, but we had a vision together. So what I did at those times, I'm coming back to it, instead of crying, okay, I don't have patience, nobody knows me, what's going to happen? What we did is Saturday ho, Sunday ho, whether it's raining, whether it's sunshine, does any other homeopath need any help? Does any other senior homeopath need anything? Can I help in terms of writing an article, in terms of, you know, doing a camp, whatever. So I used to find avenues where we could sharpen our skills or get ourselves seen. You understand? So you have to work hard. So along with the vision, in the beginning, you have nothing. We all have nothing. But you have to have the faith and belief in your vision, not the doubt. Faith and belief, and whatever little hard work that you can do on your own. Yeah, I remember when we did this was the first seminar called as the Millennium Seminar, which happened in 2001. Yeah, and Sachindra and I were organizing this event with some other doctors as well, yeah, for our senior teachers. And I remember that we spent the whole year organizing this event. Okay? This was all done just so that we could learn. We weren't getting anything out of it. We were just getting to learn out of it. And I'm sure we had our difficulties. The reason I come to that is we had the same difficulties. You know, so we were not making money. We were, you know, even thinking about traveling by bus, we had to think. Not that our parents didn't have, but you want to be independent. No, at that age, once you've graduated, you don't want to ask. Our parents had enough. So we wanted to have something of our own. Okay. Now at this time, I remember there were times when I had to do a speech. So because I was comparing the event, I was told on the last day by one of the senior homeopaths that he doesn't like my speech at all. It was 6 in the evening. I was at Birla Matushri and I had to come the next day morning at 5 because I was the main organizer with Sachindra. We all, all the organizing kids, we had to come at 5 in the morning. It was already 6 in the evening at Birla, which is downtown Mumbai. I have to go back to Vileparle and I have to make a 40-minute speech.
Oh.
I remember I took help of another senior lady who, you know, I knew would help me because I was going blank. I was exhausted. I was tired. I knew the next day morning I had to be there at 5. I remember till 1 in the night, I sat preparing the speech. And then the next morning, I woke up at 3, so hardly a 2-hour sleep. I woke up at 3 to memorize the speech. Okay. And at 5, my mother-in-law, such a sweet lady, she woke up with me, helped me drape into a sari. Yeah, because my mother-in-law could see I'm working so hard. Yeah. And I remember Sachindra and I rushing to Birla Matushri. Yeah. But you know, the reason I did all that hard work is sometimes then, you know, my other friends who were homeopaths at that time said, but you're getting nothing out of it. I said to them, it doesn't matter what is the immediate thing I'm getting out of it. One day, I will be standing and doing my own event at Birla Matushri, which happened in 2017 with Young. Yeah? So it was that vision and hard work that took me there. So you see, the how comes when you don't put in the hard work. Or I would say the how sometimes prevents you from putting in the hard work because you feel you feel it's not going to happen anyways. And so that is why, please, the hows will come. When the hows come, keep them away, replace them with your hard work and with your vision. This is very, very important. And persisting. Persistence is one thing that is needed. It's a cliche. I can't tell you how much. You know, in the periodic table, you have column 8. Okay? Ferrum line, yeah? You have ferrum. Under that, you have ruthenium. Under that, you have osmium. Then you have the lanthanide, samarium. And then you have plutonium in the actinide. That entire 8 column. That 8 column, I think we should all make a tablet of all these column 8 remedies and take it every day.
Yes.
Yeah. Which reminds me, I must tell you here that all these young homeopaths, we have many, many free lectures on columns, levels, periodic table, plants, animals. They're all there on our YouTube channel and also on our website, Yamini. They're all free lectures for almost 30 hours. And please make use of these free lectures and watch them. We don't ask anything. We don't want your IDs. We don't want anything in return. We just want you to be inspired.
Yes, yes. And guys, you should visit ma'am's website and also the YouTube channel. You'll get there are separate pages where the free lectures are given and the monthly tonics are given. So you can go and watch that. The website is drjoshis.clinic.com. Ma'am, am I
Yes.
the address is right?
The address is absolutely right. And I can maybe put it on Insta tomorrow. Yeah, or
Yeah. Ma'am, in the comment only, I will put it when I will post the video. So I will put it there.
So put it there. I can just check it or maybe send one to you. But I think you have seen that website very well because you seem to be
Yeah, ma'am. All of your lectures, I don't miss a single one.
Oh, how nice.
I never miss your lecture at all. I am in love with your teaching. So I really love the way you teach. I love your energy, and this I am telling you from my heart because I have been a kind of, this is a fan moment for me to have you here, because I really like your teaching, especially the teaching. I like your cases and all the cases which I have seen in the lectures or webinars or seminars. I remember them very clearly because you teach so well, step by step. It's beautiful. So, ma'am, here there is one question which I want to ask you. That what is that one thing which is, because not only me, I'm very sure there are so many people who love your teaching and who follow you for your sessions, and few of them asked me to ask you this question, that what is your one motto or what is your thought when you're teaching or while you're teaching? What is that one thing which drives you, or which is there in your mind, which you want to convey to each student of yours?
So this is one question, but it has a lot of parts, okay? And see, the first thing that I do want to tell you is when I am teaching, what is the style of teaching? Let me go to that. Then I want to tell you what is it that I want you to learn from it. See, my focus is always to empower the other person who is learning from me so that they can do the same next time on their own. See, this on their own is very important. You understand? So I do not teach to impress. I do not like it that if I'm teaching and it's a rare remedy and nobody comes to it and then I feel great about it. No, that's totally not what, Yamini, you would know it, right? That's why you like my teaching.
Yes.
The way, and I would say that is for both Sachindra and me, the way we teach is I want you to come to the remedy by the end of the case. And you to say,
yes,
it's easy. You see?
Yes.
So that empowerment is extremely important for homeopathy to progress and for homeopaths to become independent. I don't want students. Students is good because students will bring me money, will bring me fame, will bring me a lot of energy. That's not good. I want independent thinking homeopaths who will not need me. Okay, so this is the motto with which I teach. Let me put that one thing. Now, that's the reason why I, break down things, is because when I was a kid, this is how my father would teach me mathematics, and I hated it. I tell you, I hated it. But growing up, I realized that he put into me this thought process to question things, to not take them at face value, and to do it till the point you are totally sure of it. And this is the same way I have taught my son as a kid. And this is the same way I teach homeopathy. So okay, now, therefore also when I'm teaching a case, what I want you to take from it is not just the remedy, but my thought process behind it. So that tomorrow, with that kind of an experience, with my experience in your support or behind you, you can have your own thought process and you can come to a new remedy by yourself.
Yes.
See, that way, as homeopaths, we will all prosper. Otherwise, there will be one teacher and many students. But there won't be many good homeopaths. What the world needs is good homeopaths. Independent thinkers.
Yes. Very true. And that's why most of the people, they have, I tell you, this is my own experience, that they keep asking this question, that which method is best. And no matter you say, I mean, whoever they say that, you know, all methods are good. I also say this, that, you know, I use different methodologies whenever, because patient will choose his own method according to his own like symptom picture, and not you, because you are good at sensation, or you are good at taking the physicals or taking the keynotes or whatever it is. So that is very rightly you said, that independent thinking is very important, and then only we can actually replicate the results. Otherwise it would be only listening, and that would be only one-sided thing.
Absolutely. And let me, since we are talking about this, Yamini, at this point tell you something very important. You know what I have learned by the end, now that I have my own system, the MAP system, and a lot of people ask me that as well. Is your system better than the other systems? Why did you come up with this system? What is the advantage of this over the others? You were earlier practicing sensation, you were earlier doing delusions, blah, blah, blah. This is what I feel, that, you know, the MAP system basically is not about one system. And the MAP system has not even been conceptualized by Sachendra and me. It's not. When there is a concept or when there is an invention, it is man-made. And we discovered this whole system in our clinic, through our clinical practice, through our patients. And I have also explained this journey in one of our webinars on the website. So that journey, you can look into that later. But the point I want to drive down here is very important, that when our patients started coming with these different kind of symptoms and we had to change remedies, and then we realized that all the three kingdoms can be put on the same grid. That's when we realized that this is the base universal pattern to everything. So our system is not like our system because it needs a name, we have given it a name. Just forget it. It is actually a universal rhythm or pattern. And what is very, very interesting is this universal pattern is already there in the universe. It's only we human beings who happen to discover it. We are vehicles. It's not ours. Tomorrow somebody will add more to this. And in a few hundred years, other homeopaths will add more to this. Because it is a system that belongs to homeopathy and belongs to the universe. It doesn't belong to Sachendra and me. But what is more important is that what we've realized is all because of this MAP system, or because of understanding all the three kingdoms on one grid, I understood a very important thing. The rubrics, the sensation, the delusion, the levels, all of this is part of a much bigger picture.
Yes.
You know, and all of this together form the personality, or not form the personality. All of this can be used to find the personality.
Yes.
So there is nothing which is better than the other. They all lead, all roads lead to Rome.
Yes.
The only thing is which one of these tools you will use to be able to understand the patient sitting in front of you at that moment.
Yes.
Okay, and in some cases you see all these boxes being ticked. You see the rubrics are there, you see the delusion is there, you see the
Yeah.
sensation is there, you see the level is there, you see the energy language is there. And in some
So true.
patients, they don't want to tick all the boxes, so you do with whatever information you have. Isn't it
Yes.
true?
So beautifully you put it, ma'am, and that's so true that it always, I feel that these are all tools to empower us to find out the remedy, whether it is, I mean, the remedy or constitutional remedy or the remedy for the state, whatever we call it, that is the same thing, I feel, because that would be the remedy for the patient. And these are all tools, and it's so good to have different tools together if you can practice all of them or few of them, because it will empower a homeopath to, to go by whichever way the patient want and not the way we want or we are trained in. So that is really beautiful, and that is a message of the day, guys, that please don't get confused amongst the methods. Method is for you. You cannot replace your own knowledge and homeopathy with any other method. It's not like that, but use whichever
Absolutely.
you feel is applicable for your particular case, whether that is a keynote method or a Bengal school of homeopathy or Bombay school of homeopathy or map system of Joshis or sensation or
Absolutely.
whatever it is. So, and the system is very easy, ma'am. I want to tell you that I have heard your webinar and your video also, and I want to tell you that sometimes I use it and it's very easy to understand, and it's very profound also to have all the things together at one grid. Because when we study animals differently and then plants and then minerals, it becomes little chaotic. I mean, that is a foundation, but still, map
Absolutely.
system is very easy to apply and replicate. I really like it. I'm still
Right.
learning. I can't say I know it, but still, I like it.
And the more you use it, the more you will get, what do you say,
Yeah.
proficient with it. The other
Yes.
thing I wanted to say is the reason it is easy, Yamini, is because it's actually the real truth. And truth is always simple and easy. Yeah. And it's
Yes.
very well systematic into the boxes. And those boxes are not created by us. Those are the patterns of the universe. So it kind of
Yes.
fits in, so it just flows. It just flows.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it
Yes.
takes with it everything that we have worked with until now. See, the systems are not like fashion. I tell this to a lot of people. You have fashion. That some days the women have short sleeves, some days the women have long sleeves, some days the dresses are, they are flowing, and some days they are way short and all this. So fashion is when you change from, and then when the new fashion comes, you have to throw all your old clothes from the wardrobe if you are such a
Yes.
fashion follower, right? But in homeopathy, or rather the map system, is not about fashion. That 20 years ago you were doing this, 10 years ago you were doing this, 5 years later you will do something different. No, it is about bringing together everything you knew until now
Mm-hmm.
and taking it one level deeper. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a very quick short example of just what happened during COVID. Yeah, maybe
Mm-hmm.
you watched it in the webinar, but a lot of the students may not have. Yeah, now see what happened with COVID is we started, Sachandra and I started using remedies, arsenicum album, okay,
Mm-hmm.
bryonia, okay, way early as in January 2020. Antimony tart and antimony Rs. These were the 4 remedies we were using. It wasn't in India so much at that time. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it was much more in the US, it was in Italy, and also in England it had started. Yeah, I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about the main countries where we were treating patients or seeing a lot of patients through other homeopaths. Now I'm talking of, this is the time it has not come to India. There is no genus epidemicus. Nobody else has talked about it. Yeah. And what I saw in that time of January and February, I'm talking of last year, 2020, the beginning.
2020, early.
What was coming in the news? Yamini, what was coming in the news? People were scared of this alien attack. Okay? The whole world was terrified. It had not yet reached India, but we were also equally terrified. So people were terrified of an attack, one thing. Okay? Second thing is that people were hoarding. People were hoarding food. You remember those videos?
Yeah. They have started hoarding.
Malls and Europe and everywhere. There was nothing in the shops. There was no tissue paper. There was no food. There was nothing.
Yeah, all the panic buying started and all the that scenario. Yes.
Absolutely. So there's attack and there is hoarding. Okay. Now I'm just talking of the main things. Okay. Now when you look at, and a fear of a contagious disease.
Yes.
A fear of an alien. Now, when you just look at these three, even if you look at it from a rubric point of view, you get a certain remedy. Now, if you look at it from our system point of view, then you get the level 4, or you can also look at it as row 4 of the periodic table and column 15. Now, I'm not going to tell you exactly everything, otherwise we waste time on that. People can look at columns and rows in the free webinars. But what was coming to was level 4, column 15, which is our system is about, level 4 is about attack. Level 4 is about feeling that you have to protect your country, you have to protect yourself, your security, your finances. People, poverty, fear of poverty was a big thing when COVID started. And column 15 is also about hoarding. You will lose everything, you have to hoard. Now, when you say level 4 of row 4, column 15, the remedy there is 𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐿. Now, when you look at the rubrics, fear of contagion, avarice, right? Fastidiousness, washing hands often. What is the remedy? Arsenic. Okay. Now, we had started to use arsenicum with great results from Jan, Feb with foreigners. Yeah, and then March, April in India. By March, the Indian homeopaths also started using, not only people who are following us, but the regular classical homeopaths, rubric-based homeopaths, and 𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐿 was also released as the genus epidemicus by the
CCRH.
Yeah, and we had also sent a letter to the Prime Minister, Sachendra and I, talking about Arsenicum album as a genus and also asking them to see if you can incorporate homeopathy. Okay, and the other thing is, now the next point. So we are looking at the system explaining why arsenic, and we are also looking at rubrics, you see, from two sides. But the system makes it even more deeper, you understand? And therefore it improves your confidence and you will not change your prescription. See, one of the very important things is that when you do only superficially, you change your second prescription like this. But when you have understood something at a very deep level, you do not change your prescription, you have a better result. Okay?
Yes.
Now, another very interesting thing, it doesn't stop here. In our work of the map, Bryonia or the Cucurbitaceae family comes in level 4, column 15 as a plant counterpart to arsenicum. Now, the next remedy that worked as a genus, arsenicum also helped in a lot of, I would say, it helped to improve immunity, right? It helped as a great immunity booster. But Bryonia, 1M, and we've used it in so many COVID positive cases. Not only is it the plant counterpart of the same level and column, but also when you look at symptoms, most COVID symptoms were symptoms of Bryonia. So the rubrics, the system, the sensation, everything comes to one thing.
So beautiful. Yes, and it's so interesting, like you said, that it increases our confidence in the remedy and in our prescription, and also we do not change, which is very vital to understand in homeopathy. Because, and especially for beginners, I mean, when you know only symptomatology of something, because if you look at the symptoms, it seems same or similar to each other. We get
Yeah.
confused between the remedies because when we say if we go by repertory, it is like, you know, four remedies are covering all the rubrics, so it is like
Yeah.
confusing. But system, getting into a system and knowing that what is the inner or
Underneath.
deep feeling,
Yeah.
yeah, underneath, so that really helps, and that helps to produce better results, because you are very sure of the remedy, and then we don't panic actually
Absolutely.
while giving the remedy. That's very nice, ma'am, and that's why it is important to know the deeper pattern, which many of the students, or students I should say beginners, they miss it. They say, okay, itna pad liya abhi, that's all. But that's not like, that doesn't happen in homeopathy.
That, Yamini, that comes back to the vision. You see, when you have
Yes.
a vision which is very narrow and small,
Yeah.
yeah, then
Yes.
then you can't go forward, right?
Very
So
true.
when you say that, okay, I just need this, I need to pass out my exam, I need this, I need this, that's all you're going to get in return from the universe.
True.
But when you take that extra step, I want to learn more, I want to understand more, you know that I always give this, it's a very common example that we all learned as little kids, you know, that there are these three men and all the
Mm-hmm.
three are breaking stones. Yeah, all
Mm-hmm.
the three are breaking stones. And this wise guy looks at the three of them, okay, and tells the other person with him, I can tell you which one is going to do what in life. Yeah. And the other one says, just by them breaking stones, he said, yes, yes, come with me, I'll show you. Now he asks the first man, what are you doing? And the first man says, I'm breaking stones. What do you think I'm doing? Okay. The second one says, I am breaking these stones. At the end of the day, I'm going to get money and I'm going to go home and feed my wife and children. And then the
Mm-hmm.
third one, he asks him, what are you doing? And the man says, I am building a temple. Okay.
Yes.
So then the wise man tells the man whom he's teaching the lesson, he says, the first one will only end up breaking stones all his life because his vision is only about breaking stones. The second one will lead a comfortable life because his vision is about the security. Yeah, he's a level
Yes.
4 guy. But the third one is a lanternine. You see, the third one is building a temple. So you see, he's also breaking stones. See, remember, all three are breaking stones. But the third one will end up building the temple, will end up being a Michelangelo. Because
Yes.
he has the vision. So when we are looking at our symptoms, see, I also had the same materia medica that you all had, you know, that we
Yes.
all had. And we all then learn from that.
Yes. So true. So, ma'am, tell us about, because at very young age you made a huge success. You were handling the global clinics. You were teaching also overseas. How you did that? What was the like driving force behind that? How you did that? We want to derive that inspiration from you.
Hmm. Um, I would, so most of the things I have been mentioning, yeah, I so let me put it like this, that from a very young age, yeah, I was always in a quest to look for something more from a very, very young
Mhm.
age. Yeah, I mean, even when we were little kids, I remember Sundays, my father would read spiritual things to me, or he would always, this vision that I'm telling, he would spend time sitting with me and my sister and talking to me about, how life should be planned, how you should have a vision for the future. So from a very early age, see, for example, I did my Vipassana at the age of 19, the Vipassana form of meditation.
Yeah.
So I did that at the age of 19, or not 19, I think 20 or 21. Yeah. So I would say I was always in a quest to look for more from the very, very early age in life. And I always tried to do things around it. Yeah. Like in college, I would try to attend more seminars, try to find out what else is happening that I can enroll in, try to do things to help others and see which other homeopaths can, not necessarily teach me more, but how can I help them so that I can organize things for them or something like this. Yeah, from a very, very early age. Another very important thing, and my vision was always there. See, I always had a vision that I would be able to teach or do whatever, something good. By 25, I have to be on my own feet. And I have to contribute in some sense in the world. I have always had that. So I missed that target by 1 year. I was called and invited to teach. I was teaching, Suchandra and I, we both did it together. We taught in Canada, Kazakhstan. These were our first countries where we taught. And in fact, but so my vision was always there that I will contribute in a big way, and that I will be on my own by 25. Okay?
Great.
And then I worked around it. Now, another very, very important thing, two important things. At that age, you have a lot of hurdles.
Yes.
Meaning there are other older ones who do not believe in you. Okay?
Yes.
I remember when Suchandra and I, when we went to teach in Belgium, we were like 26 and they were 50.
Yeah.
So your feet are shaking when you are trying to say something.
Yes.
Yeah, because those people have more experience than your age.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because you have done your work very thoroughly, you have put in that effort, you have put in that amount of hours of study. Yeah? You stand by your conviction and you don't give up. This is very important. I remember when I was in Canada, when I first entered Canada, it was summer. Okay, so I was in shorts at the airport, and on my immigration form I had written Dr Bhawisha Joshi and I'm here to teach. And at the immigration they immediately sent me to some special officers, and the next I was going to be put in jail. Because at the airport they would not believe that this little girl in shorts is a doctor and that she has come to teach. And again I'm saying there were no mobile phones. I couldn't connect to my organizer who was outside the airport, who had come to pick me up. And so there was this special team of police and custom officers and some kind of immigration officers who were all interrogating me. Yeah. And it's already cold in Canada. I'm coming from a tropical country. I'm in shorts. I'm dying to wear some jacket and they are asking me questions. And I still remember standing there with conviction and telling them, ask me anything about homeopathy, ask me anything about physiology or medicine, and I will prove it to you. Yeah. And eventually they connected with the Indian consulate. They figured out my visa and everything was valid and that I was a proper medical doctor, and they let me go. Okay, so I've had experiences like this, Yamini. I've had experiences like this. Okay.
Yes.
I remember once when I was, Sachin and I were in UK to teach, the lady comes to me and says, "Where are your parents, the Joshis?" And we said, "There are no parents. It's us. We are not brother and sister. We are husband and wife. We are the Joshis." And the disbelief on those 100 homeopaths in 2002, when they saw us on stage, you should see their faces. They were totally in disbelief. 1 hour after I had spoken, just 1 hour after I had spoken, the tables turned. They wanted to know everything I had. They wanted to know everything. They wanted to come to me for consultation, not just me, but Sachendra and me both. So coming back to vision, and I've always had conviction, but the conviction comes when I have worked enough on my material. The conviction doesn't come without that. So if I haven't understood my patient, or if I haven't understood a case, you know, back in the old days, we used to sit hours into the night. So I have a 48-hour day. So you have to work. You cannot not work. And when you work, that conviction comes. But let me also tell you that I don't burn out myself. Okay? So though I've had a 48-hour day, I keep time for some relaxation. I keep time for some either meditation or some sport or something. Okay, so this brings me to a very, very important point, Yamini. You cannot, or at least I feel that if you need to succeed, you need to plan. Planning your life, planning your day is very, very important. Okay, so, you know, a lot of people feel you waste time in planning. What I feel, you get freedom and free time if you plan.
True.
Because when you don't plan, you are totally chaotic. And when you're chaotic, you end up saying, I don't have time for this, I have in-laws, I have just gotten married, and I have to look after the clinic, and I have to clean, and I have to pay the bills. And then that chaos in your brain does not allow you to. And now when you have the patient in front of you, you're thinking of in-laws, husband, bills, what is the next thing you need to cook? Sabji wala, bhaji wala, bai, maid, and the patient is in front of you, and you have no clue of what to give to the patient because you haven't understood your patient.
Yes.
So what I have done with my life always is I like to plan. Whether it is a Sunday, I plan. Whether it's a holiday, I plan. And this is both for Sachendra and me. We are planners. We like to plan. He plans in a different way. Of course, I plan in a different. Men are from Mars and women are from Venus.
Yes.
But we are both planners in our individual way. If you come to our house, if you come to our clinic, you will see plans everywhere, notice boards everywhere, chits everywhere. My laptop has so many posts, you know, and so many Word documents about various timetables. If I travel, we have a plan, we have a packing list. Okay. Now, remember one thing, when you plan, you can decide how much time to give to what, how much of free time you have. Things may not always go according to the plan. So I don't get disappointed. See, that is another thing. You don't get
that is more important than planning, I feel, because ma'am, most of the time I personally feel I also plan, but that fails eventually, and then it feels like, oh my God, kuch nahi mila. But of course we should not. And how we should not do that? Please tell us.
So when I plan, first of all, it has to be realistic. Okay. And when I plan, And even if I get 60 to 80% of that plan done, I appreciate myself for it. Okay. Now, when you appreciate, how much do we all appreciate ourselves? Tell me. We don't.
Not at all.
Not at all. How do you expect anyone else to appreciate you if you don't appreciate yourself? Yeah. So I have also done this. I have also had terrible moments of breakdown because my plan didn't work or because something went wrong. And then I analyzed and I looked back and I said, who is the sufferer in all of this? Me.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, there's another thing that I must say I do is I am very selfish. And I keep telling myself, you are not Mother Teresa. You are not doing a favor to your family by cooking for them or, you know, cleaning for them or whatever. Yeah. You are doing it because you get satisfaction out of it.
Yes.
Okay. Now, with my son, okay, I get satisfaction out of being there for him. And that is why I'm doing things for him. Okay. So now that helps me to stick to my plan. You know, Yamini, you said sometimes we can't stick to the plan. Why can't we stick to the plan? Because we are always telling ourselves, you know, I am doing this because of you. I am doing that because of him. I am cooking and cleaning because my husband is hungry. I am cooking and cleaning because my son is, you know, hungry. Or I am doing this because my mother wants it or because my mother-in-law wants it. So we like to play the victim card.
Yeah.
I do it.
And with women, it is more true, I feel.
Yeah, with women, it's more true. And I do it with my husband when I want his attention. So don't get me wrong. I also play the woman card. Okay. But not all the time. Okay. I tell myself I am doing this because I also need to be part of the family. I love my in-laws. They have today, of course, we are not living with them, but there was a time we stayed together. Yeah. Or I'm doing something for my parents. Yeah. But I'm doing something for my parents because I love my parents and they did for me when I needed it. Okay. I am doing something for my son because I totally love doing it for him. Now, when I have that positivity in my mind that I am gaining out of this, then you know what happens? I don't feel helpless. Then I don't feel tired to follow my plan. Most of the times we plan, but we don't have the energy to follow the plan.
Yeah.
So if we stop playing that victim card, we say we have this plan, we will follow it, and we get enjoyment out of doing it. And then even if you do 60% of it, maybe the first day you do 10% of it, appreciate yourself. I did 10% of it. Tomorrow you will be able to do 20.
Yes.
Okay. So that is another very important thing, that I plan, but I do not get disappointed or dissuaded if things don't go completely according to it. Things will never go, no? Because man proposes, God disposes.
Yes.
Or
true.
Woman proposes, man disposes.
Yes.
But it's okay. At least you plan, at least you try to do something.
Yes.
Yes,
ma'am.
Spend at least 5 to 10 minutes with yourself. This is so needed. Your body is like your temple, and your soul itself is the God. So you just need to spend that 5-10 minutes in the day, which I always do. It could be morning, it could be night, it could be going for a walk. You can use it in the washroom, that time for yourself. Some of the best thoughts come in the washrooms, you know that.
Yeah. Yes. It is actually a Shauchalaya. We say this, that you have to think.
Yeah.
I mean,
You said it so
Yes,
rightly. It is
that's so
actually
true.
Sauchalaya.
Ma'am, it's a beautiful advice, and not only for women but for everyone. And there are so many students, they were already asking you in the starting that how to manage time, because they also have so much in their plate, like college and then assisting someone or studying and all those things. So I feel this is the answer to them, that you have to plan and stick to the plan so that you enjoy. And even if you don't enjoy, even if you fulfill 10% or 20% of your plan, you should appreciate yourself. And it's
Yeah.
more, like I said, it's more true for women, because women always self-sabotage themselves. That they are like, okay, everything happens because of me, and I am doing so much and I'm not getting anything. And that's why I personally feel, I mean, I don't know whether it is true or not, but I have experienced this, that most of our, if we see the ratio in colleges, most of the homeopaths are women homeopaths. But when we
Right.
see practicing homeopaths, we don't have many women homeopaths whom we actually look up to. I mean, they don't practice
Absolutely.
later, or they just leave it, and it's so. I mean, it's disheartening to see this, that they have so much of potential, and because of all these things and responsibilities, they just break in between, which they should
Uh,
not.
which they should not. Very well said, Yamini. And just to add to this, um, you know, we should stop blaming. I've seen this very often, not just with
Yeah.
women, with men, but much more with women. As I said, we like to play the victim card. We like to
Right.
blame. And this I tell to my patients as well. We like to blame. Blame either the person, blame the disease, blame the destiny. Now that is good. I'll tell you.
Even
When
blame ourselves
we blame
sometimes.
ourselves, sometimes. Now, when we blame, what happens, the good thing about blaming is what? The good thing about blaming is, so you didn't do anything wrong. It just happened to you.
Yeah.
Huh? You
Yes.
are the
You don't
helpless
take that
victim.
responsibility.
You don't take that. Now, the bad thing is, okay, see, like COVID, okay, there are
Mm-hmm.
some people who blame, okay, so
Yeah.
it's because of the Chinese, it's because of the Americans, it's because of the other person, it's because of that. So they lived in fear. They lived
Mm-hmm.
in fear because when you are helpless, you live in fear and you can never change. But when you take responsibility, yes, you have that guilt that, oh, I could have done it better. But there is a very good thing about responsibilities. You can then change the situation. You are not
Yes.
helpless. So the people
Yes.
who stayed well in COVID is they said, no, I will take the right precautions. Yeah, I will wear my mask. I will do the social distancing. I will keep my immunity good by eating the right kind of foods. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I will take the right, for example, the patients that we gave them the homeopathic immunity boosters. Some people took fruit, some people took, vitamins, whatever. But when you feel that you are responsible in a situation, then you can also change it. That's the privilege you
Yes.
have. But when you blame, you only live in fear. So instead of always thinking, I don't have time, start planning. Take a few things, plan, and find the time to do it.
Very true. Yes, and that helps to actually change what we don't like. And we don't have to
Absolutely.
accept the situation as it is, that, oh, this is happening and it's so bad and I have to like live with it. So we
True.
have a chance to change the whole situation around us. And that's so true, ma'am. And same with the studies in homeopathy, or whether it is life also, we have to take up the responsibility. There are so many young budding practitioners, and I always uh, tell this to them, that they are very underconfident in prescribing. I tell this to them, that you could be a better prescriber because you don't know many things, so you are not your thought process is totally unprejudiced. So it's like
Absolutely.
you are unprejudiced by default. You don't have to think why not this remedy, because you don't know. So that's a kind of opportunity when you never know it, that it can be, and you prescribe with more confidence, because it's very difficult to prescribe in second prescription rather than first one. First one, it comes very
Absolutely.
easy.
You know what I often tell about prescriptions? First one is love at first sight.
Yeah,
Love at first
totally.
sight happens. You see this one person and you are in love with the way they look, blah, 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 blah. Second prescription, third prescription, follow-up is like a love marriage. Now you have to work at it. What you
Yes,
don't, you have to now titrate it, decide if it was right. Yeah.
very true. Beautiful. Okay, ma'am, at the same time, because you're talking about planning and balancing, that we know that you take motivational lectures for women and for other people also, that how they should balance, and you also find out time for your own hobbies, for dancing, for gymming, and for other things also. So what is your one advice or two, three things which we should follow to, to be able to do that, to be able to manage things and to create a balance, because being physicians, we burn out ourselves in the practice, and we are so much into practice, and we just forget our personal lives. Most of the doctors are like that,
Yes.
and that's why they land up into so many diseases in their middle, or I mean advanced age. So how to balance that? Give some tips about it.
Okay. So I'll tell you two things. First, physically, yeah, for balancing that are extremely important. The recent science, yeah, which says that your brain is really in your gut.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being the bacteria. First of all, we should be aware of the fact that, and this, I used to not believe in Ayurveda first, and I thought everything was in the mind. But today I understand that Ayurveda has just so much of depth and meaning, because they look at the gut as our brain. Now,
Yeah.
scientifically, it has been proved that
Mm-hmm.
you have 1 million cells, human, but you have 9 million bacteria in your body. We all are
Oh,
more bacteria than humans, and
yeah.
most of it is in our gut. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
And you know how Ayurveda says that the seat of your problems lies in your gut, and therefore being healthy
Mm-hmm.
is very important. Yeah, and I never believed that. Growing into my homeopathic world, I always felt, no, it's the mind, it's the mind, it's the mind. But 90% of your mind is in your gut. Don't forget that. Now, why am I
Mm-hmm.
telling you? You know, serotonin, the hormone serotonin, your well-being hormone,
Yes.
is produced more in the gut, not in the brain as much.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on the
Yes.
foods you eat. Now, why am
Mm-hmm.
I telling you this? Is that I see a lot of doctors themselves
Mm-hmm.
are eating very unhealthy.
Yeah.
They are not hydrating themselves. So one of the reasons, and then I see a lot of people getting exhausted, and they tell me, you get up at 5, then 5 to 6 you do your emails, then 6 to 8 you look at family, the cook, the maid, everything. 8 you rush to the gym, 9 you rush to the clinic, then you sit with your son for 3 hours, then in the evening you go swimming or something, then you start writing your book till 2 in the night. How do you manage it? So this is almost my schedule on a daily basis. Okay. I manage it because I have planned it again, and because I plan
Mm-hmm.
and then I
Yes.
stick to the plan. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But very importantly, I eat very healthy. That's
Mm-hmm.
so important. What I see with most homeopaths and most doctors and even my allopathic friends, oh, I saw so many patients in the OPD, I'm tired. Are vada pav mangalo. Are, take an aerated drink. Yeah. So
Yes.
what happens is, if you are not going to take care of yourself, how are you going to have that energy to have that
Yes.
48-hour day? Okay. So
Yes.
my food habits in the house, and Sachandra is also very, very disciplined, probably even more disciplined than me, And that is how I've raised my son also. There are no, no exceptions to the rule. Okay? And everybody eats healthy in the family. Everybody eats more whole foods, less of refined, almost no refined. And we eat a lot. We eat a lot. It's not that we eat less. But when you eat healthy, you will find the energy. Drink water, 2 liters of water a day. Okay? You have to have the right food habits. This is a very important thing. If you want to maintain a good health, and if you want to have the energy to keep going like this. Okay, I'm sorry that I have to tell this to doctors, but this is the truth that I see everywhere around me.
Yeah, so I feel doctors are the bad patients actually. They are very bad at it.
Oh, I tell you,
they don't take care of themselves. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I am also, kind of culprit in that. I feel this, that I'm also learning and trying to change. But yes, I accept that we do a lot of mistakes in taking care of ourselves. In fact, we don't. So, ma'am, I have some questions which I have collected from people. So, if you allow me, I'll ask you one by one. So, though it's not a homeopathic talk, but still, because most of our audiences are homeopaths, they want to know that how to study, how to start studying, and how to start practice when you are beginning. Because like they said, that you have a lot of self-doubts. And so what is the ideal way we should take? What are your tips about it?
The books that I always followed, as a beginner, is the 𝐸𝐾𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐨𝐬𝐻 Homeopathic Materia Medica, Allen's keynotes, okay, Boric, very important, and then Fatak. Okay. So these are the 4 Materia Medicas that you follow. Then, of course, if you have time, then you can Allen's keynotes,
Boric and
Fatak. Okay. Then if you have time, you go to Clark. Of course, if you have the Mac Repertory or the Radar or the whatever Homeopath, then you look at all the other books as well. But these are my main go-to books even today, especially Boric, Allen, and 𝐸𝐾𝐬𝐬𝐻. Okay. Now, so this is in terms of Materia Medica. I would suggest that I'm talking of simple remedies. Okay. Now, in terms of books, okay, you must know in terms of systems. Let's put it like that. You must know the periodic table. Okay. So you have periodic table books by me. You have, that's called the homeopathic patterns in the periodic table. You have homeopathy. You have the periodic table by Jan Scholten. Okay. And you have periodic table by Rajan Sankran. Okay. These are the main books that you have on the periodic table. Okay. So why I'm saying that the periodic table is most important to understand is that it actually gives you an understanding into how to understand the human being, what they want out of life.
Step by step and very, very methodical way.
Absolutely. So I would say your go-to to begin with should be minerals when you are looking at constitutional. Okay. I will come to acutes as well, but just coming to constitutional, first I told you the books. Then now coming to constitutional, I'm telling you that the periodic table books by these 3 are very important. And to understand the periodic table, I also have entire periodic table free webinars on the website for those who want to visit and see. Now, coming back to why the periodic table, because, when I started my practice, 60% of it, 80% of it was mineral remedies. And I had fantastic results. Okay. So mineral remedies are, your body is made of minerals.
Yeah.
Your body is made of mainly the salts of level 3 and level 4.
True.
Okay. So mineral remedies work amazingly well as constitutionals, as acutes, as everything. And you know, now when I have this system where I have put the plants as well as the animals on the same periodic table grid, I can see that you can understand your plants and animals better if you have understood your minerals. Okay?
Yes.
Whatever system you want to follow, I'm not going into that. Okay? So get your understanding of the grid of the periodic table, that is the 7 rows and the 18 columns, very well, because it helps you to place your patient very systematically and simply into some rows and columns. So it gives you a very good, sure start.
Yes.
Okay. Then, and that's what I have done sometimes even now. Yeah. Where I've sometimes had an animal remedy for a patient and I can't find that remedy, or it's still coming from Remedia, from Austria, from, you know, Scotland. I give the mineral counterpart. And it gives very good results, up to 60-70%, till I can manage to get the remedy. You understand?
Great.
So, periodic table would be your first go-to as a beginner.
Okay.
Yeah. And understanding these levels and columns. Now, also remember that as a beginner, see, the way I did it, I never separated my acutes from chronics. Okay? So when I got a patient, and in the beginning, you have all the time in the world. You can take a 5-hour case. There's nobody waiting outside. You know?
Yeah.
In fact, today I give more acute remedies, because till a patient gets that 1 month, you know, there is a 1 month waiting sometimes before I can take the patient as a constitutional. So my assistants have to give something to help the patient for that 1 month. So I'm using more this whole concept of pehle acute do baad mein chronic now. You know?
Than before.
Whereas when you began, I mean, you're free. Man, I have taken some cases for 6 hours. Okay, what do you do? What do you do sitting in the clinic? Okay, so I mean, that was a joke. But coming back to what you can do is, if you're not sure, because what I did is I took an entire chronic case and then tried to see what was helping my patient. But if you can't do that, or if you're underconfident, take the entire case. Doesn't matter. Go home and work on it. But at least take that immediate symptoms, okay, and think of simple polycrest remedies. Like you must always have Bryonia, pulsatilla, antimony tart, arsenicum, rust ox, Staphylococcus aureus. These very simple remedies. Natrum mur, yeah, silica, phosphorus. You must have ferrum, palladium, aurum, yeah, hepar, mercury. You must have these basic remedies in your kit, so that at least you can give an acute prescription. But do not hesitate to take the entire chronic case. Go home, work on it, and you can also tell your patient. Okay, don't tell your patient, see, I don't know what to give you now. I'm giving you this acute remedy. I'll go home and work on it. Don't do that. That is for yourself. But tell your patient, first, this thing needs to be handled. I'll give you something that helps this acute immediately. And then, but there is a much deeper layer from where everything is coming. And if that has not been treated, this will keep coming back. So we'll do that in a week's time. But let us see how you react to homeopathic medicines, how you react to this potency. So, and help them. Help them with the acute if you cannot find the constitutional immediately. And at least in the next few days, try to work out a mineral remedy. You get my point?
Yes.
Now, also remember one thing. Plant remedies work better as acutes.
Okay.
Because plant remedies are extremely sensitive.
Sensitive.
extremely reactive. Yeah, and that's what is the acute. It's an immediate reaction which needs immediate help. So also when you repertorize for physical symptoms, you will see a lot of plant remedies.
Yeah. Most of them, like in the initial chart, the only plant remedies come up. And then mineral, and then I feel animals.
Absolutely, absolutely. So with acutes, you can give more of plants, but then at least go home and start off with the minerals. Then you can slowly enter into animals and plants as constitutionals. Which reminds me, we are doing a very, very interesting 4-session event on birds. I think it's starting in July.
Yes.
It's starting
End
by
of
the
the
end
July.
of July. Yes, and it will be divided into 4 sessions of 4 rows and bird remedies for specific Indian cases. Like, the patient looks like natramure, the patient looks like phosphorus, what bird remedies come along. So like this, so that beginners and Indian homeopaths can really connect and understand animal remedies. So we are doing this kind of a beginner thing. Good that, it just struck to me while you were talking about it.
Yes.
So this is how you start basics, in your practice. Potencies, please try to start with 200. Don't go very low and don't go very high. 200 is a very, very good, safe potency to start with. And
that's a great advice, because the next question is, what is the potency? So it's a constant question in the minds.
Another thing, where 200, and you know what? See, remember, initially, this is how we were taught, right? That you cannot repeat the remedy too often. If you're repeating the remedy too often, it's a wrong remedy. Now, when you look at all these old books, and I'm talking of Clark and Herring, and when you read them, and Borick and Boger, and then, you have to remember some things. They say that the patient never came back. You don't know what was the follow-up 20 years later, 5 years later with that one potency of 6C or 10 or 12C. I don't know. Today, with homeopathy, we have patients coming to us for years.
Yes.
Okay. So that's one thing. Second, very important thing. The amount of stimuli we have around us. We have radiation all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. The things that are the chemicals that are in our foods, that are in our cosmetics, in our all those cleaning liquids. Okay. So we are, and the stresses we go through. So there's so much of external stimuli.
Yes.
That it's very, very important that the remedy also counters these stimuli. And that's why, you can't have one remedy and then 6 months later, and then you homeopaths feel, but Kent gave once and then everything got better. And I'm giving silica once in 15 days, once a week. That's too much of a repetition. Don't worry. Kent was 200 years ago. Live in the moment.
Yes.
I have seen that even with the constitutional, sometimes today you have to, and it's a good one, and it has created life-transforming results. But you have to repeat it sometimes once in 15 days initially. In a constitutional case, if it's a fever, if it's an acute, you can repeat it every 2 hourly, every day, till you see the result. Once you see the result, you don't need to repeat it. Then you reduce, and then it's fine. But to set that ball into motion takes more repetition sometimes, and that's fine.
Yes.
You cannot go by books that were written 200 years ago. We homeopaths love to stick to old classical gramophone records. I love my masters. I'm not saying no. But look at allopathy. Look at how they've advanced.
Yeah.
We love to stick to old because somehow we are rigid and we find comfort. I'll tell you what, new ventures, new new horizons will always be dangerous, but they will give you much more.
Yes.
That doesn't mean I don't believe in my masters. I believe in them. Those are the books that I totally believe in today. I believe in all their work. But you also have
Yes.
to live in today's world.
Very true. Very true. And ma'am, this is such a wise advice which you have given, because we, by the way, I feel that homeopaths are flexible people, but with homeopathic literature, we are so stuck with these things, and we are confused that, because Hahnemann said one dose or single dose or minimum dose, and we get confused among these terms, and we don't actually understand the crux of minimum dose. He then says
Absolutely.
single dose. He said minimum dose which is required. So, yes, that is true that these days you might require frequent stimulus, because you are also exposed to so many things. And we have a lot of
Absolutely.
complexities these days in diseases and in patients. And earlier, maybe it was not that complex. It was simple diseases that time. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, the
it's a great
diseases
advice,
of that
because
time,
because
the
we keep
diseases,
we always fail at actually repeating or giving it at the right time, and that's how we fail in a case, and not because we have wrong
absolutely.
remedy.
Yeah. So I would say like this, Yamini, first of all, be sure of what you're giving.
Yeah.
Look at
Yes.
it well, analyze it, test it well from all angles. And once you've worked hard on the remedy that you have decided for your patient, then you stick by your conviction. See, in homeopathy, I use the same principles I use in life. I
Yes.
work at it, I analyze well, and then I stick by it.
Yes.
Okay? And then you
True.
can repeat it.
True. Very nice. Thank you so much, ma'am. This is a great advice, and I'm very sure this will be very useful to most of us, to all of us, in fact. Also, I would like to ask you, you are spiritually oriented. You have spiritual orientation in your life. You practice meditation, and like you organize these motivational talks also for people, for your
Yeah.
patients, and for awareness talks, sort of thing. So do you think that having a spiritual orientation or practicing meditation or things like that helps us understand homeopathy in a better way along with life?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay? Because, see, when you're spiritual, yeah, it helps you open up, no?
Yes.
It helps you open up, it helps you widen your horizon, it helps you be tolerant.
Yes.
It helps you be tolerant of the other person. It helps you look at your mistakes. It also helps you accept things the way they are.
Yes.
It helps you not being disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not disappointed with your results. You tolerate your patients. You tolerate those who trouble you. Yeah. You look into
Yes.
where you can change your remedies. It's the same thing. So spirituality, in fact, that is why I was told there was a homeopath, Dr. Rao, who I was learning with in Mulund. Yeah. A very nice, simple man, a very humble person, Dr. K.J. Rao. Yeah, and he was an
Mm-hmm.
ICI follower. Yeah, and he was the one who opened me up to Vipassana form of meditation when I was hardly 20 or 21. And I thought, I have to understand what this form of meditation is, because it is about observing myself. And what is homeopathy, or what does a good doctor do? He observes the patient, right? So
Yes.
if I learn to observe myself, I will be able to observe my patient, and I will be able to tell him the right thing to do, as well as I will be able to observe myself through this whole journey.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the first reason why I did Vipassana. Okay. So I would say that it has helped me in homeopathy, but it has helped me in every way in life. And it helps you progress. and it helps you progress in a happy way. I see a lot of successful people who are unhappy, who are not balanced. See, this balance and happiness, see, finally, what are we living for? We're living for happiness and balance. And when your body is well balanced and when you are happy, then you feel good. You may be the best of the homeopath. But if you are unhappy within and you are constipated and you are feeling physically weak, where's the happiness? There's no happiness.
True.
Right? So I would say that the spirituality has helped me also be very healthy. Despite all the millions of things I do, I often, get this question, you don't fall sick. I've never had a crocin, I've never had a Tylenol, I've never had a painkiller. I've never had the need to, because I know how to heal myself. I've never had more homeopathic remedies either, believe me. Yeah?
That's great.
Because I know where I'm going wrong. I immediately correct it or I accept it. There are times I'm disappointed. You think I don't get disappointments? I get huge disappointments. When you have huge targets, you have huge disappointments. You have huge struggles. You have huge challenges. But you go through that.
Very true.
You have huge challenges with big names. It's even more difficult to handle.
Yes.
Because you're spiritual, you accept the other person's faults, you accept your faults, you tolerate it, you let go, you fall less sick, and you can be a better homeopath. All of this. Now, also remember one thing, Yamini. By spirituality, I do not mean that you have to meditate. My meditation is very different. Some days I meditate. Some days I dance. Some days I read a good book. Yeah. So spirituality does not mean religion. Don't equate spirituality to religion, to ritual.
Yes.
Some people find solace in ritualism. Fine. So being spiritual, I mean, is about doing that something for yourself where you look inwards and where you find peace. Now, that could be through dance, that could be through exercise, that could be through ritual, that could be through anything.
Okay. Great.
So, you don't have to sit and meditate.
Yeah, that's very important to understand, because when we say spirituality, one thing comes in our mind and that is meditation, nothing else. Or and sometimes even religion or doing puja or kind of things, but that is entirely different, because that's so...
Yeah, that is so...
Please, ma'am.
No, I was just saying that I have seen people who tell me that when they are doing satsang, when they are doing puja, they are at peace. So I tell them, by jolly God, do it.
Yes.
Then there are some who tell me that when I do salsa, I find peace. Do it.
True.
Find your spirituality. But there has to be an element of looking inwards. Whether it's dance, whether it's gymming, whether it's climbing, trekking. Yeah?
Yes.
That is very important, that looking inwards is also happening.
Yes. Very important, and that's how we progress. Ma'am, tell us about...
The earlier you do it, the better. So I would say those of you who are mothers, those of you who are mothers and fathers, do it with your kids. I do it with my son. My husband and I, we both. Sometimes we could be doing a nice spiritual talk sitting in the swimming pool. Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes we could be exercising together. Yeah. So from the very beginning, we have also, there is no age for spirituality. Yes. There is no age for planning. All these things that I have told you, there is no age for vision. Yeah.
True.
So if you are changing, change everybody with you. If you have a child, if you have a husband, if you have a spouse, everybody do it together. Okay, I must tell you this also, Yamini, here, very important. we do a lot of things as a family.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore we get support of each other. Yeah. My husband and I, we do a lot of things as partnership. Yeah.
Yes.
And we then involved our son from the very beginning with all of this. So as a family, we do things together. As a family, we eat together. We eat the right thing. We talk together. Yeah. All kinds of things together. So you need support. You can't do it alone. So if you
Yes,
have a
true.
spouse or a child who is willing, then do it together.
Yes. Very true, ma'am. And that's a great advice actually, that we should incorporate these things, and overall our life becomes better, and that's how our profession also becomes better, our health and everything, every facet of our life. And that is so important. I also want to ask you, can you tell us about your challenges or your struggles, or something, or some incidents which you clearly remember, vividly remember, and you say, "Oh, that was very challenging," and you came out of it?
Every day is challenging, Yamini. Every little challenge. I just at 8:30 realized I didn't have the cook or the maid, and I had to quickly make dosas and come and sit for this lecture. That was also challenging. So, but I understand what you're trying to say. So let me tell you that I think I don't see things as a struggle, as you rightly put it. I always see them as a challenge.
Okay.
Because a challenge allows you to get better. A struggle tires you.
Very beautiful.
So I always look at it as a challenge, not as a struggle. That's one thing. I also feel that there are far more challenges to come. Okay? Because I do have vision to get this homeopathy and to give it much more credit in the global platform. It deserves much more, and probably I will need help of all of you, yeah, in those projects. Yeah, I'm openly asking for help in those projects. So those are challenges, but I can tell you one challenge, two in fact, that are very, very strongly imbibed in my mind, yeah, or they made an impact. The first one was, and they are related to me in my personal life and somehow the homeopathic life. So they have a very interesting facet they have. So they were my personal challenges, which also helped me see more in homeopathy. So all intertwined. The universe, I feel, is always giving you messages, trying to teach you if you can learn from it.
Yes.
Okay. So, so it was around 2004 when I got pregnant with my son. Yeah. So the beginning of 2004. So, of course, 2005, I would say more, 2004, 2005, because 2004 was beautiful. Yeah, I was working till the last date. I was traveling. I was doing I even sat on roller coasters in my 7th month. I must be one of those very crazy mothers, crazy women. So that all went very well. So when you have a child, you realize you are not one person, you are two.
Yes.
And this is specifically true for moms, but I'm sure it's also true for fathers and for dads and my husband as well. Because there are male homeopaths and female, everyone here. Yeah. And just having a child is a responsibility nature has given you.
Yes.
Right? And you want to do the best. Okay. And you also realize you are a different person when you become a mother or a father. There are so many things about you that you discover. So, the phrase that when a mother gives birth to a child gives birth to a mother.
Yes, true.
It's so true. And I'm sure it's the same for a father, because I've seen my husband's change so much after our son was born or evolved. Yeah, and you almost fall in love with them all over again. It's like that.
Yes.
So coming back, yeah, we leave the romance out. We come back to homeopathy. So,
Yes.
you know, it was at that time that, of course, it was very, very difficult because I did not want to give up my ambitions. I was a traveling person. I was doing so many events. Yeah. And I wanted to give my 100% to my baby. Yeah. So those were difficult moments where I remember sometimes I had my baby in the other room and I was doing a new case. I was rushing home between 2 new cases. Yeah. But somehow managing it. And I pulled through it, telling myself, I am gaining out of it. The family is there to take care of the baby, but I want to spend time with my baby. That is why I'm doing this extra work. And that was a tough period. Okay?
Yes.
I remember times in Belgium, there was a group of 100 homeopaths sitting. And my baby started crying in another room. I actually, you know, my husband and I decided, no, the baby needs me more. We brought him in and I was feeding him while I was teaching.
Oh.
Okay.
Amazing.
Then, yeah. So I have done all of that because so I wanted, and we traveled with our child, we traveled with our mother-in-law or mother. So those have been difficult times, you know. Just a minute, my battery is running low, so I just, oops. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those were difficult times, yeah, where I did not give up. Because that was also the time in my career that we were, you know, I was writing my books, we were getting popular. So I was also writing books along with this, yeah. In fact, my first book came the year my baby got 1 year old. So I wrote it through my pregnancy and through the...
Wow.
So, but now when I look back, yeah, when I look back, I feel it was absolutely amazing. It was hard work, very hard work. But, you know, seeing that baby grow, that smile, and today he's so attached to me. Yeah,
Yes.
and to my husband, and not just attached in a sense where we are his go-to people, you know. We discuss things openly. We have a great bond. And I feel so happy that I basically love babies. Put it like that. I love children. I love babies. I could have had hundreds. But, you know, homeopathy is my other love. So then you have to restrict yourself.
Yes.
But so that's what, you know, I have so much satisfaction from those years, which were very, very difficult. I must say my husband was a great support and is a great support. And so we shared everything, you know, together. Yeah. And they were difficult years of travel. You know, you're traveling with the baby. You're trying to give healthy food. We never gave junk. So managing all that, and you're also making a choice. You could be saving all that money on one hand, but you spend that money into taking the baby and the parent with you so that the baby gets most, you know. So you have to make a choice between your money and your bond.
Yes.
Yeah. Which bonds are better? Okay.
Yes.
I'm so glad today that I made the right investment, both Sachendra and I. Yeah. So that was that one important time of my life. But what happened at that time homeopathically now is what's interesting. And what happened homeopathically is that was exactly the time when I started seeing some imponderable cases.
Okay.
Okay. And when I started to read more through imponderable cases about quantum physics and energy and electrical fields and things like that, I realized nothing is constant. You understand? So, and that's when I said, yeah, nothing is constant. There's so much I didn't know about myself that I'm, I am finding out. Yeah, I'm discovering myself after the birth of my baby. I wasn't like this. You know, somebody would have asked me as a young girl, I never wanted to be a mom. I never wanted to be married. I had very different ambitions. But once the baby comes, all you want to do is be a mom. So coming back to homeopathy, I realized, yes, nothing is constant. And quantum physics is telling you that. That's when I had patients who earlier had done well on mineral remedies. I had written these books on mineral remedies.
Yes.
And now I was giving the same patient as a constitutional, maybe a plant or an animal remedy. Now, as an earlier homeopath, I would have been very, very rigid and said, this is ridiculous. I'm never going to change a constitutional. Once Ignatia, always an Ignatia. Once an Aurum, always an Aurum. That was the old classical homeopathy.
Yes.
But the change allowed me to see that my patients needed another remedies. I gave them, patients got better. And that's when the whole system was discovered from 2005 to 2008. Where the patients told me they need different remedies. Then I saw the connection between the new 𝐬𝐞𝐬𝐻 and the old palladium, the new 𝐬𝐞𝐬𝐻 and the old magnesium muriaticum, the new Panthera tigris and the old aurum. You see that? So it was so many changes on so many levels. It was the changes in my personal physical body, in my emotional development, and my homeopathic development.
Great.
And this was not enough. When I then put out this into the field, there were senior homeopaths, there were others who did not so much believe in it. You know, and I totally agree. I totally agree with, it's always like that. Tomorrow, some new generation homeopath is going to start saying something crazy. The first thing I'm going to do is go check your brain. Yeah, go to a psychologist. I'm going to be the same. So I totally understand. But also what happened by 2008 then, so this was a process. So I went through that one thing. And then, you know, I slowly started to see that Sachendra and I are more independent thinkers.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, at this time, when you are an independent thinker, you always have an obstacle.
Yes.
But you stand by your conviction. The obstacles will go. You know this, the Bengali song, no, from Rabindranath Tagore, the very famous one which Gandhiji also then incorporated.
Ekla chalo re.
Tabe ekla chalo re. I think in Bengali it is tobe koi sathe na ase, tobe ekla chalo re. Yeah. So you have, if you have the conviction, of course I wasn't alone, we were two, Sachendra and me. So I had that advantage. But together we are one, no?
Yes.
We stood by what we felt right. We continued with what we were doing. There were others who also then said, oh my God, you're going against the flow. You're being different. You know, you may have problems. You may be thrown out. You may have this. You may have that. I said, I believe in what I'm doing because it is something that the universe has given to me. It is something I have discovered in my practice. It's clinically established. And I am not scared. And Sachendra and I, we stuck by our conviction. We saw patients. Yeah, we didn't, you cannot argue unnecessarily. You have to have clinical backing. You have to have patience. You have to have a proper documentation. And we've had that for years. Today, the system is followed all over the world. There are so many homeopaths who did not believe, who were skeptical, are now following us. So many giving us a good, see, I don't It doesn't matter. This is not Instagram. Who is following me? This is not Instagram. This is life. So I'm not happy that somebody is following us. But when somebody gives us a feedback that they used this and they got the result, that is just so inspiring, that all that what you say struggle, I would say challenge. I don't think you also said struggle. You also said challenge. So what the world would think as struggle, I would think it as a challenge. So Sachendra and I went through a phase of challenge and we stood by what we felt right. And we are so happy that people are now seeing the truth in it. So you have to stand by your conviction. Absolutely. If you first figure out that your conviction is right, okay, then stand by. Don't move. Don't deter. Don't give up.
Correct.
That column, I told you, take the pill. Take the 𝐸𝐴 pill.
Perseverance.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so true. So much to learn, and if yes, you have a conviction which is true, which is right, then we have to stick to it. That is very important, and it takes, I guess, it takes a lot guts to stick to that thing, because like you said, there are a lot of challenges in our lives altogether. But one thing which I have learned from your life story or your challenge is that when things inside you changes, things around you also changes, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
And we have to understand actually what is the message of the universe in that change, and that's how we evolve. So that is so important. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your life challenge with us. And there is so much to learn from you, from your experiences, and there is always so much to learn from others' experiences. I feel that we don't have that much of time to make every mistake ourselves or everything to, we don't have to see that. We have to learn from others.
Absolutely. It's good, no?
Yeah, it's good. It saves us from doing few mistakes. Not all, but few. That's really great. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, there are so many people who want to watch your lectures, who want to enroll into webinars. So please tell us where they can access that.
So, the best thing is if you go to our website or write us an email through the website. Yeah.
Okay.
Or also just simply write us an email on, let me put it, Dr. Joshi's Clinic at gmail.com. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a lot of these webinars, free things, paid things, lots happening. Just a minute. Just get in touch with us and we'll always update you.
Ma'am, also about the books, because so many people here are asking about the books. I spoke to Dr. Zainab about the books. So the same email is useful for the books as well?
There is another email for the books, but I'm not very good with this technical and, the administration bit of it. What I will do is I can send it to you on Instagram. See, basically, even if you write on this email or to my website or this email ID, at least write it. So when you write about books, about courses, about motivational talks, whatever, once you write to this email ID, they will probably direct you to the right one or forward your email to the right one, because I'm somehow unable to give you the right one at this point of time. Yeah, but this one is the main one. See, it's already written by Zainab, I think. So just write here and then we'll tell you everything. Books, Acha. We're also writing the books separately. Good.
Yes.
You also have to
so ma'am, because we are...
Sorry, I just have to tell you, you also have to have lovely backup. My assistants from the very beginning till now, Sachendra and I, we've had such lovely people, I can't tell you. So I must thank them also. They are a great support system. And when you do good, you always find the right people come to you and get attracted to you.
Yes, so true. Yes, because that's the same energy which you attract with the people.
Absolutely.
So, ma'am, because we are talking about the books and courses, and I feel this is important to spread the right information. So I just want to tell you that this channel, Homeopathy Junction, this is started by my husband, Dr. Vaibhav Jain. I'm just sitting here and taking an interview. I don't do anything, but he has started this channel last year in the lockdown when so many things were happening, the webinars, the seminars, all the events. And he had this vision that, this information should reach to every homeopath out there.
Absolutely.
And they should take advantage of all these events happening around the globe. And he started this channel, and recently we have crossed a nice a beautiful number of 10,000. So we reached to 10,000 homeopaths, and each day we are spreading the information related to all the webinars happening in homeopathic fraternity. So I request to you and your team that whenever you organize any webinar or any event, you can just send the image or send the things to us, and we will update it on the channel so that it reaches to right audience who need it.
Oh, absolutely, definitely, we'll do that. Yeah, Zainab will connect with you and we'll send you all the information, and then you can post it.
Yes. We update, ma'am. वैसे भी we are updating it, but whenever we get the updates, if we get it like beforehand, that's easy to like schedule and update everything.
Yeah, we will send it to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So I have one last question for you. Tell us that what is that one?
It's 11.
Yeah. They are enjoying, they're having a time of their life, so nobody wants to leave actually. But still, we have already taken a lot of your time, and we are sorry for that, but we are happy about it because we are really enjoying your talk. So as a summary, ma'am, I want to ask you one question, that what is that one thing or one quality which you think one should have to practice homeopathy, other than knowledge and knowledge and courses and all those things? Of course, that is one thing. But other than that, being a homeopathic doctor, what do you suggest we should have or we should learn in life?
What do you mean by learn in life? Like a skill to learn?
I mean, that one skill or one quality. Like, of course, we need to learn homeopathy, but other than homeopathy, I'm asking you, like being a doctor, being a homeopathic doctor, what is that one quality which you feel is important other than having a knowledge?
I think, homeopathy, so two things I would say. There is no pathy like homeopathy which actually understands the patient as a whole, goes to the depth, finding out what is driving this personality, finding out every detail and linking it together to get that individual prescription. So the basic desire should be not the knowledge, not the materia medica, but the basic desire with which I do my homeopathy, let's put it like that, is, have I understood the person sitting in front of me? So the desire to understand the person, I'm not talking of which level he is, which column he is, which kingdom he is, what rubrics, what is the disease of the no. My desire to understand the patient in front of me, every patient that I have understood well in this last 20 years, I know all their case histories by heart. To call, wake me up at 2 in the night, I will know that case with the remedy and what happened to them and everything, because I have understood. It's like a Bollywood movie played in my mind, And do you ever forget a Bollywood movie? You don't.
No.
You never forget one. So that's the thing. So the desire to forget anything else, but the desire to understand your patient. And therefore, the questioning mind. Yeah, what is it that I can understand in this person? What is it that's not fitting everything yet? Yeah, that. So I think if you have that desire, the qualities for it will come automatically. See, the qualities are all there in all of us. The qualities you don't have to go out and learn and find. No. Do you learn how to breathe? No. Do you learn how to eat? No.
Yes.
those basic functions you have. So the questions to ask, the qualities of patience, unprejudice, all of this will come. The desire to understand the person sitting in front of you. Do you have that?
Yes.
That is most important.
True. Thank you so much, ma'am. It's a great advice. Thank you so much, and we will definitely inculcate this desire inside us to, to be able to understand the person sitting in front of you. And then I have also learned this in my practice, that it's not important. I mean, of course, we have to find out the remedy, but that's not the only thing which is needed. Sometimes even if you don't find out the right remedy, then also you heal the patient with the whole process of case taking. And I mean, they heal there and then with the process itself, because everything is out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's probably happened because you have understood the patient and the patient has understood himself in that moment.
Yeah, that's just awareness moments for them.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you so very much, ma'am. It was a splendid session. Just like you are amazing, and you are doing so much of work. We got a lot of inspiration from you, and very nice advices that how one should lead life, how one should plan, and there are so many takeaways. So I am going to make small videos and pass them on to every one of them, so that they can take. So thank you so much. I'm really grateful to you. We both are, me and Dr. Vaibhav, that you accepted this invite, and you spent so much of time. We have taken a lot of your time, and sorry for that, but thanks a lot. Thank you so much. Heartfelt gratitude to you.
Thank you. And really, you're doing a wonderful work with this kind of a series. So thank you. And also a big hello and thanks to Vaibhav from my side. And we'll definitely keep in touch. And if there's anything motivational, I'm more interested. See, knowledge, you will get it. Knowledge, skills. But if there's anything like this, I'm always up for it. And you are doing a great job. All the viewers, all the homeopaths who are there for these last 2.5 hours almost. So big all the best to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And we will definitely, surely, very soon we are going to request Dr. Sachendra sir also to come on and, talk about his journey, so that we can, gain his experiences as well. So thank you so much. Absolutely. And I'm going to write down an email tomorrow itself to him. But we enjoyed this time thoroughly. Thank you. Thanks again, and have a good night to you.
I really enjoy talking about all this and inspiring, and I'm so glad we could do this together. So a big kudos to you as well.
Thanks again.
Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Good night, ma'am. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, guys, all of you, that you have joined and you have stayed there for last 2.5 hours. And I am very sure that you have taken a lot of things from ma'am, and you have learned a lot, and also you have enjoyed the session. And very soon we will do another such session. Thank you so much for joining in, and have a good time. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, ma'am.